It's wonderful to see you, and Meryl. I can't say that it's wonderful to see all of you because I've got these lights right in my face, but it's wonderful to be with Natan and Avital and Rachel and Hannah. I knew Rachel and Hannah before they were born. Now I see their children. Sarah and I embrace them. It's a real joy to be here tonight for the two of us, with the two of you, Natan and Avital, and also to share this evening with all of you. First, I want to recognize President Bush. And on behalf of the Jewish people and the people of Israel, I want to say thank you, President Bush. Thank you for the 8 years of friendship and support you showed the State of Israel during your time in the White House. Thank you for the many contributions to strengthening the great alliance between Israel and America. And as Prime Minister of Israel, the leader of a grateful democracy, I thank you for everything you did as President of the United States to defend freedom around the world and in the Middle East. I also want to recognize Sheldon and Mary Adelson. There are no greater philanthropists in the Jewish world today. Birthright, Yad Vashem, medical centers, college campuses, you name it, the Adelsons are doing it. Thank you both for all you do for the Jewish people and the Jewish state. I want to recognize Knesset Speaker Yuli Edelstein and his wife Irena, Ira Renner, so many friends who are here, so many shlichim who are here, so many people who are doing for the State of Israel, for our common future. And we're all here this evening to honor Natan Sharansky. Jimmy, you said something that is absolutely true. My link to Natan goes back a long way. In fact, it goes back to the years before we actually knew each other. On many occasions, Natan described how, when he was in a Soviet prison, he would hear a plane pass overhead, and he would think of my brother Yoni, of the rescue at Entebbe, of what Israel was prepared to do to save Jews everywhere. I think you said, Natan, that you knew you were not alone because there was a Jewish state and a Jewish army, a Jewish government. I have to say, Natan, that your courage, Yoni's courage, inspired you, and your courage inspired me. I remember when the news of your trial came out. I remember how exhilarated, that's the exact word, the sense of exhilaration I felt when I heard about your courtroom speech in Moscow. You defied a kangaroo court with those words that have carried the hopes and dreams of our people for 2,000 years. Next year in Jerusalem. I remember Avital visiting me a few years later when I was a young Israeli diplomat in America. I remember our first meeting and her passion, her relentless drive to see you free. I thought there was a way. You see, a few years earlier, in 1979, I organized a conference against international terrorism in Jerusalem. President Bush, by the way, it was attended by your father. Please send him our regards. And it was also attended by another great Russian dissident, Vladimir Bukovsky. Bukovsky told me then, he said, you know, with enough pressure, the Soviet Union would collapse in a decade. He said this in 1979. And I believed him. With enough pressure, that empire would collapse. And I know, Natan, that you believed it as well. You knew something, you knew a secret. This is what Bukovsky told me, as if he was speaking for you, because you were saying it to others before they imprisoned you. He said, it's a hollow empire. It's a hollow core. It looks strong on the outside, but it's weak on the inside. Because of all the reasons that President Bush and Natan were just speaking about. And I believe that strong and sustained leadership in the West could win a Cold War few thought could win, could be won. And in fact, that's what we proceeded to do. Avital remembers this. We spoke with the administration of President Reagan. I have to mention Secretary Schultz. He was magnificent, magnificent. Ambassador Jean Kirkpatrick, and many others. And I said to them, as did others, if you press hard enough, they will crack. Not everyone believed this. I remember Elena Bonner, the wife of Andrei Sakharov, the great Sakharov. She said to me, Sakharov will die in prison. I said, no, he won't. If you press them, they will crack. And they will let out Sharansky, and they will let out Sakharov, and they will let out 400,000 Jews. That's the number I said. I'm glad my prediction proved wrong, because we got more than twice that. If you press them, they will crack. That same faith should guide us today, because there's another would-be empire in the Middle East. It too oppresses its people. It too terrorizes its neighbors. But it too has a hollow core. If you press them, they will crack. They will succumb to strong pressure from the free world. And that country is Iran, and Iran's aggression must be stopped and can be stopped with resolve. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to honor Natan's legacy, then support the brave men and women of Iran who are fighting for freedom, yearning for freedom, praying for freedom, and praying for our support for their struggle. That's the best way to honor Natan's legacy. My friends, there was a remarkable day. The day that Natan crossed that bridge, zigzagged across that bridge in Germany. That's how it began in the morning. And in the evening, that same evening, he was carried on the shoulders of our people to the Western Wall, to the Kotel. That day was a great day. A great day for Israelis, for Jews, and for lovers of freedom everywhere. Now, at that point, Natan could have decided to leave the scene, to devote himself to his beloved wife and his family. Fortunately, he decided to continue the great struggle. He campaigned for all those left behind the Iron Curtain, and he hosted that remarkable rally in Washington. And then when the Iron Curtain fell, and 1 million Soviet Jews flocked to Israel, he entered political life and dedicated himself to helping these Olim, these new immigrants, integrate into Israel. He served as a minister in 3 Israeli governments, including mine. And 9 years ago, I believed he was the right man to lead the Jewish Agency, which he has done ably, serving as a great unifying force for Jews everywhere. Nine years in prison. Sounds like a movie. 9 years in prison. 9 years in politics. 9 years in the Jewish Agency. God, I don't know which was most excruciating. Well, we do know. We know. We know, and we've gathered here, Natan, this evening, all of us, to say 2 words. Thank you. Thank you for your service for the Jewish people. Thank you for your service to the Jewish state. And thank you for your service for the cause of freedom. Thank you, Natan Sharansky. May you continue to serve our people and our great cause. Thank you.